Hi guys, it's me Vicky. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel, Vicky Speaks. We've been talking about narcissism over the past few weeks, and I'm sure you guys are wondering now, why is so passionate about it? It's because I found out about this personality disorder, and it's not just a disorder that affects only the Oyibo man. It affects anybody, so I'm just creating awareness whereby people can know that, oh, this kind of disorder and these are the symptoms of disorder. So please, if you haven't watched my previous videos, I would advise that you do so you can understand what I'm talking about in this video. Now, in my last video, I talked about the phases of narcissistic personality disorder. I talked about the phases of narcissism, and I talked about the idealization phase. I talked about the love bomb phase. I talked about the devaluation phase. Now in this video, I am going to be talking about the triangulation phase and the discard phase. Now these two phases are the most deadly phases when you're dealing with somebody who has this narcissistic personality disorder. I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm just trying to let you know the reality of what you're dealing with and the times that we're living in this, in this our age and this generation we'll find ourselves. So thank you for watching. Now, the triangulation phase is a phase where after the devaluation phase, when they've started devaluing you and they see that you're not somebody who is feeding them with what they want anymore. You're not somebody who is admiring them anymore. You're not somebody who from the beginning you saw them and you're like, wow. Because of who they came and appeared before you that they are. Now you're seeing the person for who they really are. You're seeing the person and you're telling the person that, oh, please work on this character of yours. Please work on this character of yours. And then the person is refusing to. Now, what they do in this stage, in this phase, is that they go and start dating someone else. They have someone on the side who is feeding them with that admiration, that love and care, those things that they were getting from you from the beginning because they pretended to be somebody that you wanted to see. And then now that you're seeing them for who they are, because they cannot take healthy criticism and they cannot, easily accept that they did anything wrong, so they go and look for someone else who they will seduce with their charm, who they would, start to love bomb, start to do all the things that they were doing to you from the beginning. Because in this triangulation phase, and we call it triangulation phase because it has to be like 3 people and sometimes maybe 4 people, depending on the narcissist. So you are there, but you don't know that they're dating other people because they're already having issues with you. So they're looking for how to move, and that's where the cheating comes in. So they begin to date someone else while they're dating you. And in the interim, while they're triangulating to see which one that they are going to go, they are hoping that you, with all their manipulation and their scheming they are doing with you, you would mellow down and they'll be able to subdue you. But on this other side, they're love bombing another person that they feel that, wow, this person might just be what I'm looking for. So they begin to compare between the 2 people, and that's when you notice that the narcissist has really changed at this phase. You will know that they're dating someone. In fact, if you're a wise woman or a wise man, you know that you are in that triangle right now, because now you begin to see different kind of characters. And a narcissist is always very proud, and because they feel they've put you in a box, they feel they've gotten to a place where you cannot live without them, you cannot do anything without them, you love them so much. Some might not, they will not even hide that they're dating another person. They will tell you that it's your fault. They will tell you, hey, it's your fault. You're the one that made me do it, because you are a healthy person and you're an empath and you really genuinely love the narcissist because you want the narcissist to be a better person in your mind. So you are telling the narcissist that, hey, these things you are doing, because I really care about you, I need you to work on these things and they're affecting me as a person. So please, I want you to look into these things. But then the narcissist feels offended because they don't know how to self-reflect and look inward to say, oh, this is what I did. They don't know how to stay with themselves for even 5 minutes. The narcissist is always doing something. They're only quiet when they're sleeping. They're always doing something because they're afraid of staying with themselves. Because they don't want to start thinking back. Because when it comes to self-reflect, you have to think back in your mind. A healthy person will go for therapy or counseling to say, okay, where did this thing start from? Let me think back to say, okay, where did this character start from? What triggered it? What happened to me as a person that made me to become like this? But a narcissist doesn't want to do that because it's too painful. So they are always shallow. They're always living on a very shallow, on shallow lane. They don't know how to go down deep with themselves. So when you're telling them that, hey, you need to work on these things, working and changing something means self-reflecting. And they don't like to do that. Because self-reflecting opens a lot of wounds, which a narcissist, it only take God's grace for a narcissist to do that. So when you're telling them that you did something wrong, I need you to work on this, you become their enemy. Because they're not willing to, they're not ready to only take the grace of God, like I said. So what do they do? Especially when they look at you as somebody that, I've tried all the manipulation, I've tried all the scheme, I've tried everything, but this woman she's not budging. She refuses for me to subdue her. I've insulted her. I've made her feel she's worthless. I've made him feel, it could be a he, it could be a woman devaluing a man. I've made him feel like he's worthless, but still their confidence is still, so they just feel like, okay, you know what? Let me go and get somebody else a love bomb and start that whole cycle with the person again. And then that's where the triangulation comes in. It's a triangle. You, him, whoever it is. Triangle. Sometimes it could be a square because it could be 4 people. Nancy could be dating another 2 or still scouting to see who, you never know. But at that phase, you know that it's leading to the next phase, which is what I call the discount phase. Now, when things have gotten so bad with you, when I say so bad, is because the narcissist just feels at this point that, hey, you know what? I cannot control this person. Because narcissists like to control, they like to be in charge. They would want to tell you to sit down on a chair. Do not move until I come back, even if it's 1 week. They want you to sit down there. Don't do anything with your life. Just sit down there. Forget about every other thing. Just sit down there. Meanwhile, they are everywhere. They don't care about your dreams or how you achieve them or what you want to do. Everything is about them. They're so self-centered. The narcissist might even forget you are still on the chair. You are still there. But the moment you move and the narcissist comes back and sees that you left that chair, and then you're trying to tell the narcissist that I've been there 7 days waiting for you. Where were you? I called your phone, you didn't pick. I called your phone was switched off. Their problem is not that they're not thinking about the fact that they didn't care that they kept you in one place, or the fact that their phone was not going through, that you were trying to call and say, I need to rush and get this. Their own is that you just left the chair. They asked you to sit down there. Who gave you the right to stand up? Thinking about themselves. So when it gets to that point, the narcissist is like, you know what? I can't do this again. That this is where the discard comes in, the breakup. The next person they've been grooming all the while, dating. And sometimes some women can be so gullible, they might not even see the signs. But like I said, if you're a wise and smart woman, you should know when your man is cheating or when your lady is seeing another person. So it gets to that point where they just feel like, you know what? The other person have been grooming, and especially if that person is someone who is, for the lack of a better word, forgive me, not up to your standard. Because now they've studied that, hey, this kind of person, especially if you're a working class lady, they say, I've tried to kill this lady's dreams. I've tried to put her down. I've tried to put this man down. They should have been down by now. I've tried to make them feel that they are worthless, so that I could feel, my ego and my self-esteem could go up, because they don't really have any self-esteem. So what they do is that they think about it, say, no, you know what, I can't go for anybody that's in a working class anymore, because maybe due to their exposure, that's why they were able to challenge me. Let me go for somebody lesser, maybe less in education, less in exposure, less in exposure in their minds. That's why some ladies will be like, why would a man, some people will be asking that, how would a man have this beautiful wife and go for one small, that's not up to, as not being as beautiful as his wife? It's because most of these men have noticed that, hey, if I go with this one that is educated and all of that, so they go for the one that is lesser, that will not even be able to talk to them, that probably they will just maybe give like 5K or something. We live in Nigeria, these things happen, and they just give them some money and they're like, oh my God, thank you. Those are the ones they go for because they feel like these ones cannot talk to them. They can easily, trying to subdue you was a lot of work, but those ones easily, they can subdue you. So when they can subdue them, so when they feel like, oh, I've gotten that kind of person, they just tell you, you know what, I'm moving on. And you're like, wow, it's so easy for you to just move on. Like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm done. And the next thing, they break up with you, and the next time on social media, they deleted all your pictures. Every trace of you being with them is disappeared. And next thing, you start seeing pictures of him and the other lady, or the lady and the other guy immediately. And you are so heartbroken and you're wondering, that wasn't this thing ever real to this person? It was never real, my friend. You were the only person in that relationship. You were the only person that was loving, that was giving. Because a narcissist is not able to look down. Maybe they liked you, really. Maybe they felt something. But the moment they would see, a narcissist will stop themselves from loving you, period, because they don't want to be tied to you. Simple. They don't want anything to make them have to work on themselves. Loving somebody actually makes a person change. Because when you truly love someone, the person is saying, oh, work on this, because number one, you really love that person. Number two, you want to have a better relationship with that person. And number three, you don't want to lose the person. So you work on it and show the person that, hey, I'm working on this. I want to be with you. So let me work on it. But a narcissist doesn't know how to self-reflect and work on anything. So them falling in love with you is like telling them go and work on those things that have made you have these character flaws. They're not ready to. So them walking away is easy to go to somebody who, even if the person sees the flaws, they found a way to subdue that person easily, much more, it's easier for them to subdue that person than, it's easy to subdue you. I mean, they tried for so long, they couldn't. You're still having your esteem to be able to talk to them and say, hey, work on this. And they found that very insulting and abusive to them. Meanwhile, the while they've been abusing you. And some narcissists could actually get physical, all to subdue and control you. So this discard phase, they just move on. And that's why it's easy, because the narcissist was never really in love with you. You were the one loving. And one of the reasons why they come at you with this love bomb phase. The love bomb phase, wow. It's a phase that they show you so much love, you just feel like you found the one, that this is the person for me. Because they've studied your kind of person to say, Kai, if I come at this lady or this guy with this way, or if I pretend to be this way, then the person will fall for me. And then when they begin to change the relationship, they turn and tell you that you are the one that made them change. Meanwhile, it was all a plan from the beginning. And that's how narcissists keep moving from one relationship to another relationship. They are never stable. Even the ones that get married, they leave their wives. They're never stable. And even the ones that decide that, okay, let me stay in a marriage, is it that the lady is in another country and is somewhere else? They are not together. If you want to dig down and check it. So I really believe that this personality disorder is one of the root cause of so many broken marriages in this time. So that's why I'm bringing this awareness to us, to let us know that, hey, there's something called narcissistic personality disorder. We need to look into this. And if you've identified someone who has this disorder, before you say I do to the person, really think twice, so that you do not have years down the line that you get heartbroken, or you get a broken marriage, or someone just wakes up one morning and tells you, you know what, I'm not doing this, and then move on and marry somebody else, and you're there heartbroken, wondering that, what did I do? This is it. I'm not saying you as a person don't have your own flaws, but like I said, healthy people, they sit down and they work things out. If you check marriages that have been there for years, it's not that the two people are perfect in the marriage. No. Like in a healthy relationship, there's what they call a round table discussion, when two people come together and just have a conversation to talk about their relationship and how it is going and what they can do to make it better. It's okay. But if you find yourself in a relationship where you cannot sit down and even tell the person that, hey, the way you spoke to me on the phone, or the way you spoke about my friend, or whatever it is, you cannot just talk about your relationship issue, then that is a red flag. And don't lie to yourself. Tell yourself the truth and ask for the grace of God. Give yourself some time. And if you're a believer, pray for strength and let the Holy Spirit guide you on what to do. And if you have gone through the discard phase and you can identify what I just talked about, then it's okay. Pray for strength. Move on with your life. I know you'll be thinking about the time, the money you invested in, and so many other things like that. But it's all good. You can start from where you are and build all over again. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please share to your friends and family if you find the content really useful, because so many people are dealing with people who have this personality disorder and they don't know how to go about it. So I really believe these videos will help. The videos I talked about, types of personality, narcissistic personality disorders, now the phases. Please share to your friends and family. Turn on the notification bell. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.